time to go home. You have Tetris. Here's my little Quasar.
Good stuff.
Okay, finish your Marvel solo. Wow, so nice to leave it here for us. So it's late, it's like 8:15. We just knocked off because we were actually kind of watching a little bit of Gaki no Tsukai. A very old episode, No Laughing Punishment game at the Hot Springs. That was like 2003. That's like freaking 14 years ago. So we're just watching it, but it's an awesome show. It's downtown Gaki no Tsukai, in case you guys are interested in watching. You have to go Google it because you know it's all illegal now since it's actually a serialized or licensed TV show in Japan. But it's really funny. There are subtitles and it's just plain awesome. Oh, nice glow. Yeah, Tetris is actually the first person to try out my souped up Quasar 514.
It's the first time I like a bar.
Oh, nice. Only after I modified it.
Yeah, after you modify it.
But why? What's the difference between before and current?
I'm not sure why, but maybe I didn't have a good impression back then when I first played with it because it's too small and my hands are big. But now that I know how to flick a spinner, it actually does feel good in the hand. Compact. And it looks sicker.
So, Raja, now you know this is what Tetris feels about the Quasar. I guess I gotta find a way to get him one. Even though it's small, but it's a very awesome spinner, honestly. But I gotta be honest, bro, I rounded off some of the edges. Oh. Some of it is a little bit sharp originally, like no, actually it's inside the inside four corners.
Oh.
The outside is fine, it's the inside. But here's the good news for you. They are making a tri version of it.
Oh. Well, now I have to buy Tritium.
Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. This is my follow-up review video of the Quasar 514 spinner by Fidget HQ, and right off the bat you guys can already tell that it looks rather different from what it originally was when you watched my initial impressions video. That's because I've done quite a lot of custom work to it. I've already spent quite some time with this little baby over here, and man oh man am I enjoying it. But it had some flaws initially, like I mentioned to you guys, and I went ahead and I corrected those flaws, and now I have a spinner that I really enjoy. So let's start things off by letting you guys know what I've done to it so far, okay? The very first thing I did was to take a Dremel to the edges here, these four outer edges, and rounded them off. Now I'm gonna try and get the reflection of the light on the sides. You can see that it has been rounded this way. Yep. There we go. That's the very first thing I did, and it was a super quick job, like less than 2 minutes. All I did was to get a Dremel and grinded them down with a sanding drum bit, and it was really simple. Then what I did was to give it a stone wash, and I went for a pretty thorough stone wash. So have a look. See all the reflections? Yeah, I really gave it a thorough stone wash job. Like I really put this through I think about 6 to 7 hours worth of stone washing, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Like I was really surprised. I even showed it to Raja of Fidget HQ, and he was pleasantly surprised, and he said that he might actually consider having stone washing as a finish option in the near future. I'm not so sure if that's going to happen, but this is what it looks like basically. I also stone washed the buttons, and then what I did after stone washing the buttons was to give it a heat treatment. Initially I wanted to heat treat these Kong buttons to a blurple color, but anyone who's tried heat treating stainless steel before knows that it's not really easy to get a very even blurple color when you're using just a simple torch. But I remember that I actually got myself a very uniform coffee brown color on my Hyperstone button, and that's basically what I was going for, and I managed to get it again. So as you guys can see, it's a pretty deep brown, very coffee brown kind of color, almost bronzy, but I like to call it coffee brown. So I did that. I managed to get that color tone. I was really happy with it. Then I took a high grit sandpaper and I sanded off an outer ring right on the top, and that was really simple as well. I just got the buttons, just screwed them in, had a flat base, put a sandpaper on, and then just went in circles like that. So really happy with the way it turned out. It's a two-tone button effect, and yeah, I mean, I don't regret it at all. I really enjoy this look. Next, I changed out the bearings for a stainless steel bearing, which kind of resembles the Super bearings by Stealth Spinners or the FZ Essential bearings by Hack for Ruler. So that's what I did because I kind of like the feedback, I suppose, when I'm spinning the Quasar right now with this bearing. Like, it feels, I don't know how to describe it, but I really enjoyed this feedback. It's really smooth and it's not too noisy, but it spins, I don't know, it feels like it's cutting the air all the time, so I really like that. Now, the last thing that I did was, of course, to add trits. You guys can see that I have 4 trits that are vertical this way, and I also have 4 trits this way on the horizontal axis. Now, I was initially inspired by Raja himself when he actually put trits into his Quasar, as well as chilling with Twisted 420 when he put trits into his as well, but he went for a blue-green combination. I was like, wow, that's really nice. So what I did was to hop on to Mixglow, and then I saw different trit sizes and lengths, and so I spoke to Trit Master Vincent and I asked for his advice, and he said, well, I could try putting in trits this way. So these vertical slots here are actually housing yellow trits, and the horizontal slots are housing ice blue trits, and I went ahead to get these colors because I love the yellow blue combination. The yellow trits in here are 2 by 6 mm trits, and the horizontal ice blue trits here are 2.5 by 10 mm. So basically, I measured it up and I thought that I could have it really just in line, but after ordering it, and then I remembered that Vincent said that there was going to be some play between different trits, so I realized that they might not fit one above the other, and it was going to be very difficult for me to center them as well, so I decided to go ahead and give it this orientation instead on both sides, and I really don't regret it. It looks really nice. The only thing that I kind of regret is the fact that the trits are not flush inside that window slot. I guess you could say that it gives a very nice extra halo effect when when you spin it, and I took some pictures of it. I thought it was pretty cool. So you could see the yellow inner ring, you could see a blue middle ring, and you could see a little thin blue outer ring, and you could also see more of the glow from the outside like this, and that's basically what I did. Now, the last thing that I did to add an extra touch to this was to, I guess, mess with the NOA glue for a little bit. Now, because if you look at the whole spinner, it looks kind of rugged, right? Like everything's been stonewashed and all that. Now, initially, when I filled the trit slots with the NOA glue, I filled it up to the point where it was just barely covering the trit. And I realized that the NOA glue actually cured with a really shiny, really smooth top layer. So what I just tried on one side, was to fill up the entire slot all the way to the brim, okay, of the cutout. Then instead of putting it through a full curing process, I cured it like almost halfway. Then what I did was I grabbed a little piece of tissue paper like this. Then I guess I kind of lightly pressed it in so that NOA glue had this little tissue paper kind of texture. And I made sure that it was like almost cured and not still too viscous. Yeah, that's the word, viscous, by using a little toothpick and poking at it. So that's what I did. Once I determined that it was going to be okay to kind of move it around, I pressed down with a piece of tissue paper, and then I cured it fully, and then I got this kind of a slightly frosted kind of a finish, and I really like it. See, the way it reflects light is not as shiny, so I think it really matches the whole look of this stonewashed finish as well. Now, if I did not stonewash it, if it is still the original polish or brushed finish, then I probably wouldn't have done that to the NOA glue. I would have left it as shiny as possible. But that's just a personal touch, and it was I guess an experiment that was successful, I should say. Now that I've changed the bearings and everything, and I've done all this modification works, the spinner is slightly heavier now because of the added trits. I'm really liking the spin quality of this. I'm really liking the spin character and everything. The feedback and all that is really good. And I'm getting on average about 3-minute spin time to the two-handed table spin. And that's nothing to complain about for a spinner of this size and this design. I really like it. So like I mentioned, I spent a lot of time with this and I kept on fidgeting with it non-stop. And I believe that also part of it has to be attributed to the amount of work that I've done to it, especially rounding these edges. I really like the Quasar right now. I really enjoy it. It's one of my top 5 spinners, I should say, at this point of time. And it being a small size bar with all these trits and everything, I really love it. Like, I've made myself love it even more by adding all of this stuff in it. And man, oh man, I don't regret doing that. And I really enjoyed this spinner. Really. Now, at this point of time, I want to give another shout out to Raja, because after watching my initial video, he went ahead and did some chamfers on what I believe to be the Quasar, as well as the tungsten Quasar. Yes, there is going to be a tungsten Quasar, and I'm on that pre-order already, but I don't know if he will also extend this to further iterations or the future iterations of the Quasar bar. I hope that he does like a V2 with those rounded edges as well. Oh yeah, one more thing, he also has a ring spinner version of the Quasar coming out. So that's something really cool. I'm really glad, I guess, and very happy and very honored when makers take the time to watch videos about their products and listening to feedback from other people, because I was not the only one that complained about these 4 edges as well. So I'm very glad and I'm very proud, I should say, of Raja for listening to feedback and going ahead to improve his already solid product, making it even better than what it is right now. So good job, Raja. I mean, really. Once again, like I said, shout outs to you, man. So my final verdicts, guys. You already know, I really like the Quasar 514. Now, I've liked it from the day I got it, except for the sharp edges. But then I went ahead and I did all this work and I like it even more. So I just wanted to be transparent with you guys to let y'all know that I really love this particular version of the Quasar. But not to knock the original version of the Quasar, or I should say the retail version of the Quasar. I think it's a very wonderful spinner. If you look at it, like I say again, it looks like the matrix of power. It looks exactly like what its name says about it. Very futuristic looking, nice angles and all that. Comes with very awesome buttons as well, the Kong buttons. Has a removable bearing system, R188. Very affordable. Different prices based on different base materials that it's made in. Like, as always, guys, come on, links in the video description below. You guys already know. But by now, you guys already know where to get it. Anyway, it's at FidgetHQ.com. Make sure you go grab yourself a Quasar spinner if this design appeals to you. I really like it, and I think that it is a solid choice for bar spinner. Doesn't wobble much, almost no flutter, very good spin characteristics, very smooth spin as well. And I'm just enjoying this whole thing. You know, I'm really enjoying the entire experience thoroughly, very thoroughly. And you know, no disappointment whatsoever, just really enjoying it for what it is. Good price, good design, good spinner. I mean, what more can you ask, right? Those of you who have the Hyperstone holster, now this is the newer version, which is slightly wider. The newer version meaning the latest batch that was just released, the one with a lot of issues, but I will be addressing that in another video. Anyway, the Hyperstone holster holds the Quasar spinner perfectly. Look, it just sits in there and it won't drop out. So you gotta lift it up, then you can pull it out, because that slot over there for the buttons fits the Kong buttons perfectly. Look. Doesn't even damage the leather, doesn't damage the spinner whatsoever. The only thing that I really want to highlight to anyone who's thinking of doing this as well, if you have a copper or a brass Quasar, then don't do this, because there's something about putting brass into the leather. I think maybe the humidity generated on the inside, it actually makes your spinner patina fast on one end. That's the reason why I don't really keep my Hyperstones in their holsters, even though they come with the holster. I keep only the stainless steel one that is on me all the time in the holster. The others are all separate in my Pelican case, and the holsters are all separate. Now, if you have an older Hyperstone holster, it's gonna be a little bit of a snug fit. You're gonna have to push it in and it will stretch the leather out a little bit, but it still works anyway. But it is awesome. And so I decided to end this video by kind of trying to show you guys what this thing looks like in the dark. Okay, it's just a simulation. I can't really do it 100%, but maybe I'll give you a better, I guess, view and an impression of what the trits look like, because they are awesome. Looks like you guys can roughly see the yellow and blue trits, and it seems that I don't need that UV light. Now on the side, I don't know if this is going to show up, you can see the 2 dots right there. So really happy with the way it turned out. I'm going to give it a little spin and see if that picks up on camera as well. Hopefully it does. Yep, what if I spin it faster? Nope, too fast for the camera to pick up. Not unless I change the ISO, but I can't do that with a video. Alright. Lights back on. But don't worry guys, I'll put pictures of that spin on screen. And that's about it, everyone. Hope that I gave you enough information to decide whether or not the Quasar 514 spinner is a spinner for you. I want to thank Raja again. It's the third time I'm thanking him in the video, because he sent this to me and he let me just do whatever I want to it. Thank you, Raja, for letting me go ahead and do this, and I really enjoy this right now because of all the different things that I've done to it. Customizing is pretty fun, and I really like the fact that we can add so many tricks into it right now. The reason why I wanted to do that was because I didn't want to limit myself and my ideas, I guess, just to these vertical slots right there, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Alright everyone, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next slice of my life. Bye!